Hi guys, this is Adel Ali Askari. I'm a project management trainer and consultant, and in this video I'm going to talk about the Professional Scrum Master or PSM certificate. Before going to main body, for those who are not familiar with the Agile project management, I will brief them in a few minutes. If we define the project management knowledge and standards and methodologies as a spectrum, in one side of the spectrum we have the predictive project management or the project management that generally known as the waterfall project management. In other side of the spectrum, we have the adaptive project management that generally known as the agile project management. And in the middle of the spectrum, we have a mixture or combination between the adaptive and predictive that generally known as the hybrid project management. In waterfall project management, or in the blue side, we have the project that their scope is well defined and we have the enough information about their scope at the initial stage of the project. We can define the scope of the predictive projects in advance, and how we can define it because of the similarities between the project that we already implemented. For example, we have done lots of the power plant, bridge, roads, and other projects. Although each project is a unique entity, but the similarity between the projects make us able to define the scope of the project in advance. The project management teams knows what we are going and they are going to provide as the deliverable to their customer. Then by having the detailed scope at the initial of the project, we can define the plans in advance. The plans include the project time schedule for whole project scope, also the project budget and other related plans. Then the project management team do their best throughout project life cycle to implement the project in accordance and in 100% match with the initial or already provided plan. And if any change happen, at first they will do their best to prevent any change and minimize the change. But if any change happen, they will forecast the remaining part of the project till end of the project based on the happened change and the updated information that they get. Anyway, to brief the waterfall project management, at first we do the planning in advance, and secondly we are going to minimize the change throughout project life cycle. But the story is completely different in agile project management. We don't know the scope of the project at the initial stage. We don't know in detail what we are going to deliver to our customer or client in agile project management. The scope of the work or the deliverable is defined or clear for us gradually, step by step. We will start a route with our customer and we will get the information by step. Then by having the more information, we will upgrade or doing the project management by taking the steps in each period of the time. In adaptive project management, we define the time phase of the project to the short time phase that generally called as the sprint. And each sprint can take between 2 to 4 weeks. We focus on the sprints on having the project plan and in defining the scope of the project for each sprint. And after each sprint, if the product is usable, we will deliver it to the customer, start the utilization as soon as possible. We will get the feedback from the customer, and also by having more information in our team, we will define the next step based on the updated information at the moment. Generally, we call this attitude as the agile project management. If we want to back to the history of agile, it backs to 1990. But the initial and official birth of the agile project management back to February 2001, when 17 developers in the Utah gathered together and talked about the new attitude or orientation towards the project management. On that 3 days conference, those 17 people talk about a new methodology in project management. They told that we know that the waterfall style is good, but we want to have or invent a new attitude to the project management that can reflect or changing requirement per day or can fulfill our customer as much as possible. Then at the end of those conference, they published a manifesto in half page that you can see in the view. And in this manifesto, they would prefer four things over another four things. Those four things are individual and interaction over process and tools, working software over comprehensive documentation, customer collaboration over contract negotiation, and responding to change over following the plan. This is the official birth of the Agile project management, and these four values continued with another 12 principles that added gradually by sending and receiving the email between the guys that attended on that conference. And those four values plus 12 principles created the mindset of the Agile. Please pay attention, those 4 plus 12 do not say us how we can manage a project practically. If you look on them, none of them told them. For example, when you start your work from tomorrow's morning, what is your responsibility? Who should do what, or etc. Then the Agile is a mindset, and if you want to implement the Agile in your project management, at first you have to get the mindset well. After understanding the mindset or way of thinking, you need to have the practice or methodologies to do the project management practically and in action. We have lots of the methodologies all around the globe, and day by day, a new invented methodology added to this list. But at the moment, under coverage of the Agile project management, we have the most famous methodology as the Scrum. Also, we have so many other methodologies that not mentioned here, but just for your understanding, we have the Extreme Programming or XP, Kanban, DSTM, Scaled Agile Framework, and so many other Agile methodologies that are matched with the mindset. Mindset means principle and values of Agile can put under the coverage of this umbrella. Anyway, as I told you, the most famous methodology out of the different methodologies of Agile is the Scrum. If we want to have a look on the Scrum, we have three main entities in the Scrum. The first one is the roles on the Scrum that is dedicated to and not allowed to add or delete anything out of them. The first role is the product owner, Scrum Master, and the developer are the other roles in the project that managing by the Scrum methodology. We have the ceremonies or events in Scrum. The heartbeat or time phrase of the Scrum is a sprint, that all events happen during a sprint. As I told, the sprint can be between 2 to 4 weeks and is not allowed to exceed 4 weeks. Anyway, we start the sprint with the sprint planning. We have a daily coordination, daily Scrum between the team members or developers, and we will finish each sprint with the sprint review and a sprint retrospective. That is the exit gate for the sprint. Also, we have some artifacts in Scrum that are product backlog, sprint backlog, and increment. Anyway, in this video, I don't want to go to the detail of the Scrum. I don't want to explain how the Scrum works or etc. But just want to mention that the Professional Scrum Master or PSM certificate is dedicated to one of the Scrum's role, that is a Scrum Master. The PSM certificate is issued by the Scrum organization, and it's attested that you have the enough information and knowledge and understanding about the Scrum frameworks. At first, you know how the Scrum works, and specifically you know the responsibility and the specific role of the Scrum Master in the Scrum framework. If you want to have a look on the PSM website, you can see the other certificates that granted and offered by them. For example, the PSM or Professional Scrum Master, that is available in 3 levels of 1, 2, and 3. And you can guess as we move from level 1 to 3, the question and the certificate makes more tougher. And also they have the certificate for the Professional Scrum Product Owner, for another role in the Scrum team, Product Owner. Again, this certificate is offered in 3 levels. Also, you can see the other certificates that is listed in their website. Just to remember that their official website is the scrum.org, and you can check their certificate in this website. If we want to back to the PSM exam, if we want to back to PSM exam, yeah, this exam. As I told you, the exam is available in 3 levels: PSM1, PSM2, and PSM3. The first and initial level is PSM1. In PSM1, you have to answer 80 questions in 60 minutes. And this is the first challenge in PSM exam. You have less than 1 minute to answer each question. 80 questions should answer in 60 minutes. The exam is exclusively online. There is not any paper-based exam. You have to create your profile in the scrum.org at first. Creation of profile is free of charge. You can do it easily without any charging. After having the profile, you can enroll in the exam and you have to pay $150 for the exam. And they will send you a voucher of the exam to the email that you mentioned in your profile. In the email body, you have a code for the exam. Then when you want to start the exam, you have to sit beside of your system or computer. You have to go to the scrum.org website and start the PSM and take the exam and put the codes that mentioned in your exam voucher. The question including the multiple choice, multiple answer, and true or false question. Most of the questions and majority of the questions is the multiple choice. It means they will give you 4 options and one of the options out of those 4 options is right. You have to choose the right answer to get the point. But you may have other questions of the multiple answer. For example, 5 options give you, and in the body of the question told that 3 out of those 5 are correct, and you have to choose all correct options to get the point of those questions. Or maybe a statement asked in the body of the question and ask you, is that statement is true or false? Anyway, this is the general type of the questions. And don't forget that the first challenge of the timing of the exam, it's less than 1 minute for answering each question. The language of the exam is only English, and at the moment is only available on the English. And the second challenge on the PSM exam is the passing score of the exam. You have to answer 60 out of the 80 questions correctly, or you have to get the 85% to pass the exam successfully. It means you are not allowed to answer more than 40 questions wrongly. Then this is the second challenge in the PSM exam, that the high score of the passing of the exam can challenge you or may challenge you in the exam. Anyway, after getting the exam, after getting the certificate, there is not any renew for the certificate and it will not expire. There is no need to renew your certificate and it is valid for all the time. The second certificate that is popular in the people who are working in the agile area is the certificate that related to the next role of the Scrum or the product owner. It's professional Scrum product owner or PSPO. The timing and also the number of the question is same as the PSM. You have to answer 80 questions in 60 minutes. The first thing that is changing is the cost of the exam. It's $20. And also you have the same type of the question, but the questions asked from the Scrum body that want to make sure that you know the Scrum well, you know what is the Scrum, how the Scrum works, and etc. And in addition, they oriented towards the product owner instead of the Scrum Master. In PSM exam, you have to have the same understanding of the Scrum at first. You have to know what is the Scrum, how the Scrum works, and etc. And the next thing is about the responsibility of the Scrum Master. What should the Scrum Master, what is its responsibility, who should do what, and etc. is asking in the question. And about the reference and the material for the exam, my advice and personal advice to all of you is to read the Scrum body many times. Let me open the Scrum body, sorry. Yeah, this is the Scrum body and it's only include 14 pages as you can see. Then my first advice to all of you is to read it times by times. Personally, I read it each week when I want to attend it in the exam. It takes less than 15 minutes to review it. Then my advice to you is to read it and understand it very well. In main body of the Scrum, explain all the events, artifacts, and roles, and you can use the online testing systems that is available in the net. You can find in them in the Google search, and you can utilize all of them. I try to keep this video short, and I hope you find it useful. And if you find it useful, I would request you to share it and subscribe. Thank you, my friends.